Serious truck crash? You'll need serious truck cash. And that won't come easy unless you've got someone on your side who knows how to get it for you. Call the Strong Arm, Attorney John Foy and Associates.
An 18-wheeler's most precious cargo isn't what they're hauling. It's the multi-million-dollar insurance policy that's fiercely protected by the trucking company. Let us handle the fight for you. Our truck accident experts can get you the serious truck cash you deserve.
Call Attorney John Foy and Associates today.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to video message number 29.
Carrie Elwes? She's an actress. Okay.
Well, she's a guy, so.
I love watching Tarzan movies.
I woke up yesterday morning with a spring in my step.
Start later, please.
I could never know if the day was...
Fast forward, Ed.
Listen up, the ratings just came in for last month. We are number one. We just grabbed every key demographic. Super duper, gang. Super duper. That's nice. Way to go. Neato, gang.
Yes.
Boy, that is good news.
It is the 21st day of January 2025. Good freezing morning on a Tuesday, everybody. My name is Chris Hockey. Welcome to the Power Trip Morning Show. And if you can stay in bed and stay in the house, I'd encourage you to do so. Check to make sure the kids have school today. They probably don't. But here we are, Power Trip Morning Show. We are live and local and in studio again today, and we're going to get her started. I believe Marnsy's going to come in for car starts. Probably Johnny Bones is almost here. I'm going to guess he's got some coffee. I sure hope so. And a cast of thousands. Let's go. Here's Nate Bargatze, some comedy on the Power Trip Morning Show Tuesday. Come on in. I'm glad you're here.
We have one dog. I would like another dog. My wife does not want another dog because it's a lot. It's a lot to have two dogs because you got to open the back door and let two dogs out. Then you shut it. And now they're out there. You're inside, not dealing with it. But then they want to come back in, and you're like, gotta go let all these dogs back in. You're like, one dog, two, look at all these dogs everywhere. To be honest, I've never taken care of the one dog we have, but our dog sleeps in our bed. Someone told me you're not supposed to do that because you lose dominance over the dog. You know, I asked him, I said, what year do you think it is? These are all doodles. They're barely dogs. It's the person. They're people. This guy acts like it's 1980 when you kept the dog outside all year. Those you needed dominance over. You had a wolf in the backyard. Friends come over. You want to go outside? I wouldn't.
On your side, you hear the distant thunder. There's lightning in your stride. For the warriors, never gonna believe.
Yes, even you.
To the top.
I mean, there's freezing and then there's freezing. You mentioned the school closings. My kiddo does not have school. And look, when we were younger and got a snow day, it was the coolest thing ever. And then when you get older, you start doing well, back in my day, we would have gone to school in weather like this. Not this morning, right? There's no way kids should be going to school when it's this cold. I know that puts a ton of people in a bad spot, right? Because you got to hustle and hurry and find somebody to watch your kiddo or figure out how you're going to work. I get all that, but my God, it's freaking brutal.
Brutal. 19 below.
Yeah, they shouldn't be at the bus stop. They shouldn't be going, whatever. Just stay home. Watch Price is Right.
Right.
Is that still on at the same time? Is it still 10 o'clock-ish?
I think so.
When is Price is Right on?
I think it's still on at that time.
I think so.
Price is Right.
Hey, is my guitar still on?
How about that?
I'm the Secretary of Energy.
Welcome to Costco. I love you. Welcome to Costco. I love you.
Thank you.
I'm the Secretary of Energy.
I don't know what that's from.
I can't no more. I can't no more. I can't no more. If you're encouraged about, keep going. I can't no more. I can't no more. I can't no more.
Remix.
Brilliant.
I think they cut me off.
What is all of this from? I have no idea. Should I know this?
Did you watch the inauguration?
No.
I can't no more. Y'all can put your hands together now like that.
Who's that guy?
Billy Ray Cyrus.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
That's Billy Ray Cyrus.
I'm the Secretary of Energy.
Apparently he's the Secretary of Energy now.
He is?
I don't know.
Welcome to Costco. I love you. Welcome to Costco. I love you.
Thank you.
They told me to kill as much time as possible, so.
My God.
Man, his voice is not quite the same as Miley's.
Does anybody know the words to Achy Breaky Heart?
Or is it the
my
same?
God.
Maybe you could argue it's
Maybe
the same.
it is her.
Miley's got a raspy voice, but she's got one of the best singing voices of all time. She's
I'm
phenomenal.
gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna.
Oh, my God.
Is he
Encourage about, keep going.
Is he 0.3?
Y'all can put your hands together now like that.
Billy Ray Cyrus wouldn't win a Billy Ray Cyrus impression contest right
Hey,
now.
is my guitar still on? I think they cut me off.
I don't know how many guesses you would have had to give me.
I woke up at 2:30 with the kiddo, my wife and I did, and I looked over to see what time it was, and then I, scrolled Twitter for a couple minutes, and that was the number one trending thing.
It was Billy
Ray Cyrus.
Jesus.
I'm the Secretary of Energy.
Back to that email error yesterday. Not only did we obviously intentionally ignore discussing it yesterday. No, I don't know. I didn't watch a second of it. I saw about half the Wolves game. Does that count?
Yeah, that was a bad loss.
They told me to kill as much time as possible, so.
Is he singing on the Common Man show?
Yeah, what is happening?
Kept one eye on the national championship game. That was fun for a second, then terrible for most of it, and then fun for a second again. You stay up late and watch it or not? Or did you tap out?
Oh, I tapped out when they went down
31-7?
And then I watched the episode of Severance.
Oh, you did?
Have you seen it?
No.
Oh, I started it yesterday. I watched
I have not seen anything. No.
Very first episode I've finished now, and I'm 100% in off of that twist at the very end of the first episode alone.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The first episode last night was great.
Duh.
I can't believe Ben Stiller directed that, man.
Yeah, he did.
Dude's
That's his
fantastic.
show, yeah.
You just never know what these comedians, like what other side of these comedians they have. Jordan Peele and Ben Stiller and
I'm the Secretary of Energy.
the Secretary of Energy.
Wow.
There's a rare blizzard warning in southwest Louisiana. Things are changing.
Everything is great.
Aren't they supposed to get like 16 inches of snow?
Arkansas? This is the winds of change. I think
Yeah.
the Scorpions
Yeah.
Didn't Hawk go see them?
prophesied
Sure he
it?
did.
Prophesized or prophesied?
Yeah, I'm Nostrahawkus.
Yeah, prophesied, I think. Prophesized?
Prophesized?
I think it's prophesized.
It has been prophesized.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's right.
But prophesied is also a word. When do you use that one then?
That's when you make love to your professor and get pregnant.
Oh, so you got the prophecy.
That's right. You got it. That's right.
Okay.
That's right. Now you're getting it.
I legitimately don't know when to use either one. Anybody know?
I'm probably never going to do it.
I don't know.
That would have been perfect, though, because we were just talking about the Scorpions predicting the winds of change.
Remember the predictors?
Yeah. I do
It's
remember
time
that.
for predictors.
Yeah.
Remember you did the
Open.
Bohemian Rhapsody thing, and then John Jansen, R.I.P., got really mad at you for taking credit for it?
Yeah.
That was one of the weirdest things of all time.
Really
He got
mad.
really mad at you.
Yeah. Said I was like copyright infringement.
It's
I'm
a
like,
bit. That's the bit.
No, everyone.
You didn't write it. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Everyone knows I didn't write it.
It was obvious.
It's obvious.
It was obvious that you didn't write it.
Yes.
As we learned yesterday with your AI versus meat sauce bit. You didn't write Bohemian Saucity or whatever the hell it was called. What was it called again?
I think they cut me off.
Yeah, we should have cut you off.
You should have.
I can't no more.
What?
I can't no more. I can't no more. I can't no more.
Wow.
I'm sorry I missed that.
Does anybody know the words to Achy Breaky Heart?
Sounds like pizza.
Hey, is my guitar still on?
My God.
I'm the Secretary of Energy.
That sounds like it's straight out of a early 2000s comedy.
Yeah.
That sounds like McLovin.
Yes. Sounds like somebody drunk at a VFW trying to sing that song.
Haley?
Oh.
Shout out to Haley, by the way. Good morning, Haley.
She passed away.
She gets drunk and sings karaoke?
All the time.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Sure, why
Nice. She gets on the little piano.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man.
She must be pretty bummed that Zimmer got engaged.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I guess he did. Not Diddy.
Did he?
Diddy did not. Well, maybe Diddy
Zim
did.
and Diddy?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it is 2025.
That Chappelle bit on Saturday night about how he not getting invited to a Diddy party was his way of finding out he's ugly.
That was funny.
That was such a good
That's a
bit.
great line.
I'm ugly.
Taught me one thing.
Oh, man. Yeah, hey, let's go around the room. I'm Team Canes, Raising Canes. I think that's obvious.
Mm-hmm.
But over the last decade or so, I've heard so many people that like fried chicken, not chicken strips, rave about Revival.
Yeah,
it's
man.
so
And
good.
Sucks.
Right, all of them closed.
Yeah,
So-
sucks.
Out of nowhere, right?
I don't know one person that has had it and doesn't just gush about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the problem here?
Those guys, the two guys that owned it, are
Dean and
yep, huge
Yeah, they
fans
branched out.
of the fan. It sucks because my sister-in-law worked for them for a while, and she texted me yesterday that they closed just abruptly.
Out of nowhere.
Sucks.
All their
that
locations.
food is a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, that's what everybody
100%.
says.
So good.
So
It's
then,
all of
So
it.
freaking
All
good,
of
dude.
it.
what's up financially then? Why
I
did
don't
it
know.
not survive?
I don't know. They had a
Bad
barbecue spot
locations?
that
What's the
they
deal?
had great locations. They had a barbecue spot that they opened.
Barbecue spot.
Barbecue spot.
So I've never been to Revival. Where were the three spots, or the spots that you know at least?
There was
It was Minneapolis.
Minneapolis.
But in a good spot of Minneapolis? Like where
Yeah.
in Minneapolis?
Yeah, it's off of Nicollet, I think.
Yeah, you are correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it's off of
I
Nicollet.
think they both, the barbecue spot was in that area as well.
And there was one, I believe, in the Malcolm Yards.
In
That's right,
St.
yeah.
Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, excellent. Great
And
spot.
St. Louis Park, too. I think there was
Yeah,
one.
correct. There's 4 of them.
I wonder what happened. I know there's a Star Tribune article on it, but I tried to click it and I don't pay for anything
Yeah.
past a paywall. So as soon as I
give
get
you a link,
blocked,
right.
I went right on and
It
did something else.
Oh,
It just
Always
says it was
busy.
super abrupt. Like,
Yeah.
there's no explanation.
Okay, 'cause that's the
owner
headline,
just said,
too.
He said the abruptness is hard, but it's part of the nature of how these things come and go. Sadly, restaurants are not a forever thing.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, I was shocked to read that headline because that place is phenomenal, and it always seemed like there was people there. So, in the Minneapolis one,
Always. They were always, yeah. I mean, they were semifinalists for a James Beard Award. That's like an Academy Award. Man. Oh, yeah.
It's like an Academy Award.
For food.
Oh. Yo, son of a bitch! Oh, wait, wrong
No,
guy.
not him,
Wrong
no.
guy.
Boney.
Hi there, Johnny Bones.
Oh my God, he rode his motorcycle today.
I know.
Is he insane?
He's a badass.
Is he nuts?
Don't talk to him. Does anybody know the words achy, breaky heart?
Hi, Boney.
Clap your hands, apparently, if you want. Why'd you brought your
Clap
motorcycle?
your hands, everybody. Everybody,
He
clap your
walked.
hands. We're lambda, and omega move.
Now that I would have watched.
Well, yeah.
If I found out that the Tri-Lambs were playing the inauguration, I would have checked in.
Hell yeah.
Somebody would have tweeted me and said, "Hey, Booger's about to rock the guitar. You may want to check this out."
Yep.
And Booger Presley, you mean?
Yeah.
Right?
Booger Presley. And I rap by little old me Lamar.
Great.
I bet I've seen that movie 1.7 billion times. It's so good.
Yeah, so good.
How are you, Bones?
It's sacrilege, but again, I like it way better than Animal House. I don't care what the critics say.
It's okay, baby. All right.
John, where do you stand on that?
Oh, Animal House over that.
Don't say it over that.
Yeah, don't
act like it's trash. It's the nerds.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's the nerds.
You moos sure know how to party.
So good.
You know how many times I've said that?
What are you looking at, nerd? I was looking at my mom's douchebag, but that's back in Ohio.
Brilliant.
How about when he's teaching him how to play poker?
Yeah.
When do I get to deal?
Nice, so you got too many aces.
Yeah. You got to win a hand first. Oh, okay.
What do you think the score on Rotten Tomatoes is for them?
Who cares? 100.
100%.
It's 100.
115.
Jeez.
Is it more than 100?
Jeez.
Or is it less than 100? 70, yeah.
That's not very high.
It was a semifinalist for a James Beard Award.
You know what?
That's not like an Oscar.
It's almost the same thing. Hi, John Bonus.
He's an actress.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And that's the wrong button.
Yeah, she's an actress. Okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Hi, kids.
Johnny Bones.
Johnny, last week when we had you in, and they pointed this out on the Bets and Quotes podcast, we had so much Viking stuff to talk about. We never really even talked to you about your trip.
Yeah. You know what people in Australia and Hawaii don't understand is a winter in Minnesota.
Oh.
They do not get that. I thought that this morning when it was minus 18 as I was going in. And in fact, I've lived in Philadelphia as well. Even Philadelphia, other northern cities, they don't get this. And I tried to explain it.
Mm-hmm.
And here's how I tried to explain it to somebody. Like, it was minus 18 when I woke up this morning.
You said, listen here, bitch.
And they know.
Wow, bonus.
You know they know what 82 is like, which is a very, like, the perfect day. And they know what 32 is like, which is like, it's cold, like cold enough that if there's water in a puddle, it's now ice. Take that difference and add that to the ice part. And that's where it was when I woke up this morning.
Stop, collaborate, and listen.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah, they don't get it. I get it.
I mean, and I get that nobody else really gets just how brutal and unlivable this is.
My dad called me yesterday about the twin scuttlebutt.
Yeah.
And then we were done with that and talking about the weather.
Of course.
When my dad worked for 3M.
Yeah, it wasn't a long conversation.
When my dad worked for 3M, he traveled to the great continent of Asia quite a bit.
Okay. Whereabouts in Great Continent?
All over the place.
Okay.
And he told
we know what your dad was up to. Yeah, we know what your dad was. Solo trips? Yeah, he ain't fooling me.
Got your dad's
He was getting some scuttlebutt eye.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, my 43 brothers and sisters have talked about this a lot. He said he was in Singapore once and small talk. Right. Had to be.
Mr. Cove, you got scuttlebutt.
That's where he caught the scuttlebutt.
And he said a similar story to you, John. He had asked somebody, who seemed to not understand how cold Minnesota was. What's the coldest you remember? You've lived here, 60 years, he says? And it's something like, I remember a day that it was 72. And my dad said it stood out to him that it got all the way down to 72.
Right.
And I'm like, well, wait a minute. It's got to get colder than that in Singapore once in a while, right? Yeah. But can you imagine that guy going, what's minus 18? 90 degrees?
Yeah.
90 degrees.
Yeah, I felt colder than last night when I was leaving the gig, and I went out to the car, and I felt colder than that with the wind chill, but not just the regular temperature. Like that is pretty crazy out there.
It's brutal.
Be a little Baruto. It'll be a little better today, right?
Yeah. It's supposed to get up to about 10. 10 is the high today.
We're very lucky there's no wind, though.
Yeah.
This with wind, it would be beyond deadly.
Yeah.
Hey, is my guitar still on?
No, buddy. No, it hasn't been on for a while.
I think they cut me off.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, Johnny Bones, again, world traveler. Let's get a recap a little bit when you get back.
Hey, can we do that, please? I want to know about your
Something
world
crazy
travels.
must have happened.
The places that are awesome.
I'll see what I can find out. Yep.
Power Trip Morning Show after this on the Fan.
Time now for Front Page Sports.
Yeah.
Presented by Holiday Station Stores.
Holiday Station Stores, limited time. Buy 3 20-ounce Pepsis for just $5.50. You can mix and match any Pepsi brand you want, but 3 for $5.50 at the Holiday Station Stores. Thanks, Holiday.
Hell yeah, man.
Thank you, Holiday.
Hey, is my guitar still on?
No.
No, it's not George Harrison.
The Memphis Grizzle won 108-106 over the Timberwolves. Julius Randle was outstanding. 0 for 7 from 3, 2 of 13 overall.
Energy.
5 points. So Ant had 32. Dillingham was electric off the bench. Nas was
He's
awesome.
out forever now, right? Dillingham?
No, that's DiVincenzo.
Oh, whatever.
He's got a toe problem. But so Memphis shot 7 of 33 from 3.
Yikes.
21.2%.
It's a bad loss.
And they still found a way to blow a 16-point lead.
Randall looking to inbound with the Wolves down by 2. He lobs into the backcourt. Ant makes the catch. He's got to go. He crosses midcourt, crosses over to his right. He'll pull up on a right side 3. It's an air ball at the buzzer, and the Grizzlies survive again. 10 nights ago in Minnesota, they won 127-125, out executing the Wolves in the fourth quarter. Tonight, they do the exact same thing.
Yep, another 2-point loss. That was Alan Horton, of course. Wolves Vox. He's the best.
He's so good.
Yeah, so Ant went for the dagger, pulled up from 3 and came up way short.
It's a bad
way
loss.
Short.
Really bad loss.
They're going to run into an issue here in 2 weeks from Thursday where they're going to try and move on from Randall, and I don't think anybody will take Randall. And they're stuck with that. DiVincenzo basically has turf toe that could sideline him for a long time.
Yeah, they said it was grade 3 too.
Yeah.
I would assume they're
in a rough spot. And Randall was basically just collected a paycheck yesterday.
He shouldn't have been in the game.
No.
He shouldn't have played 34 minutes. I'm sorry. When you're that bad, you shouldn't have even been in the game. I wish I had someone in my life that had as much faith in me as Chris Finch has in Julius Randle.
Finchy loves him.
He
man.
loves him, and
Loves him.
it's completely unwarranted. There's no reason that Rob Dillingham shouldn't have played at the end of that game. That was his best offensive game of his young career thus far. Randall was absolutely brutal, as the numbers show, and as me and you were texting yesterday, Saucy, he doesn't care to be there, man.
No,
he picks and chooses when he wants to play defense. He doesn't care to be there, man. Anthony Edwards and Nas Reed were awesome, and they tried to stop the Memphis run, but Jaren Jackson and John Morant just kind of took over in the last 4 minutes there. And
At one point, they tossed Randall the ball. It got stolen, and he stood there for literally about 10 seconds as the play went the other way.
14 hours ago, you tweeted, bad loss.
Yeah, it was. I stand by that. That was a really bad loss. You can't lose to that team. You need more than 10 points from 2 of your starters combined.
They led the entire. I think when Memphis took the lead towards the end of the fourth quarter, that was the first time they had the lead since the first quarter. Like the Wolves led the entire game.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with losing to Memphis. It's how you lost.
Yeah, correct.
I mean, they're the third seed in the West.
Yeah, he should have beat them both times, though, the last 10 days.
Yeah, but they're not last year's Memphis Grizzlies.
No.
They're locked and loaded again. No pun intended with John Morant.
Well played.
Yikes.
But
did he shoot anybody yesterday?
I don't think so.
Did he wave his gun at any of the Timberwolves or not yesterday?
I don't think so.
Man.
That wasn't his gun.
Oh. The Minnesota Wild won 3-1 over the Colorado Avalanche. They were tied going into the third, and then Trennan and Faber scored to secure the 3-1 win over the Avs. Do you know the Minnesota Wild have the best road record in the NHL? 17-5-3.
Wow. Yeah. I did not.
Best road record in the National Hockey League.
This is where I wish Zach was around so I'd ask him some questions, but I don't have any
Well,
idea.
why don't you just pretend one of us is Zach? And we'll do our best. Yeah, Zach 2's here.
Are they healthier?
No.
Okay. Good answer.
No.
Zach, too, how do you think they'll do if they make the playoffs?
We're good.
Slightly evolved into Goldblum at the end there. That's okay.
Yeah, it happens.
Does he make deli sandwiches?
The Chicago Bears are hiring Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson as their head coach. 19th coach in Bears history. He's 38 years old. Pro Football Talk and some other people are saying it's somewhere in the $13 million a year range. So he's getting a huge deal right off the bat. The Bears have the 10th pick, and they have 4 picks in the top 72. And they have almost $75 million in cap space, which is around the 4th most. So they have, the top coach essentially on the market, Ben Johnson. They got him. They're loaded with talent already. And now you have a whole bunch of other picks and a whole bunch of cap space.
If you're encouraged about, keep going.
And who was it? Hawk, who was the coach of the Saints last year?
President Camacho.
Yeah, he is going to be their defensive coordinator. So they're loading up. You have no excuse, though. You got a great quarterback. Yeah, this is the job he wanted. I mean, this is what he waited for, is a stud young quarterback and a team that's got some space to build. Got everything he wanted. And he's going to make $13 million a year, and he gets to stay in the division.
Right. I mean, it's been a tough run for the Bears, but that's the nice thing about being really crappy for a really long time is you end up in a pretty good spot. Kevin Warren's got them right where they want them.
Baseball Hall of Fame class of 2025 gets announced tonight. Ichiro is a lock. Some reports say he's tracking at, bonus, 100%.
I believe that.
But the early reports are saying that Lavelli Neal is not likely to be in that. So I'm being serious. So don't be shocked if it's 99 and change.
Yeah.
He's trying to be just the second person to ever be unanimous, but I guess Lavelle, according to some tracking websites, not likely to vote for Ichiro since he's a first ballot guy. CC Sabathia and Billy Wagner also likely to get in. A-Rod, by the way, tracking in that 35 to 45% range, so not even close to enough. What do you need, 75%?
Yeah, but you don't need that to stick around on the ballot. That will be it'll be interesting to see whether or not the baseball whether or not the baseball community wants to have a debate about how they want to handle steroids in the Hall of Fame centered around A-Rod over the next 10 years as year after year after year that comes up. Because there's just way too many guys that clearly belong in the Hall of Fame, but because they were, demonized, I guess, for their participation in, taking some steroids during a part where a time of where that was a hot topic in Major League Baseball. You can have various opinions on that. I don't know. I have trouble just blanket ruling everybody out who's ever had a steroid.
Does it help at all that he's made a couple of guest appearances on Shark Tank?
It probably does.
So we like A-Rod to be a broadcaster. We like him to be a Wolves owner. We like him on Shark Tank. But then when it's like, hey, was he good enough to be in the Hall? No. I don't like him in the Hall. I like him in everything else.
Well, I think people forget that he started being demonized not because of his participation in steroids, but it was mostly because he got a record contract.
Yeah, like record deal?
People lost.
Oh, do you have any music in the system on?
Yo.
He had a song called Tweaker that went viral.
Hey, is my guitar still on?
No, A-Rod, it's not.
I'm the Secretary of State.
I'd like to hear Billy Ray Cyrus and A-Rod do a little acoustic set.
I'm the Secretary of State.
And that guy.
Oh, okay.
Funbags over there is the Attorney General.
Funbags. What a great term. So good.
It's kind of stupid, but he's President Camacho's stepbrother.
Funbags are a great term.
We won a contest, got to be a cabinet member.
Oh. Yeah, Funbags is a funny way to explain breasts.
Funbags over there is the Attorney General.
That's funny.
Sorry, I watched the documentary last night. It's really good.
I thought you were talking about inauguration coverage.
No, I I didn't get to see any of that.
I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna.
Come on.
His voice was a little shot.
Yeah.
But other than that, he looked pretty good. He did.
What really matters is next. He'll do scores and stats around the world of sports. Chris will tell you something that's more interesting than what I say. That's after this on The Fan.
The Fan.
All right, so the Wolves lost, the Wild won, Ohio State won. We can talk about that later. That's stuff that, you guys all saw on your phones or live. But Johnny Bones, like Chris mentioned last week, we were all a little bit in shock because the Vikings got their asses kicked way more than we thought they were going to. Even if they lost, it's like, can't they just make this entertaining? That was a boring-ass game. So you rolled in and we're like, hey, cool, welcome back, but the Vikings lost. You were gone for about 3 weeks, traveling the world.
4.
25.
Everyone won a contest got to be a cabinet member.
It's got to be a 20-footer.
I'm the Secretary of Energy.
You must
I'm
have been
the Secretary of State.
You must have been the Secretary of Energy over the last 3 or 4 weeks because
Yes.
that's a long time to be away from home.
It was a long time.
Even if you are a world traveler.
I think I talked a little bit about before we left. We've been doing so much traveling since the dog passed, basically, that
Is that a period of time?
about a year.
The dog's passed.
A year and a half, right? That we are almost burned out. Being exploring and being independent and such has always been sort of a dream. That's been sort of one of the values that I have, not just in, like my ideal life, but also like professional life, everything else. I don't like working for people.
You can tell.
Yeah, you can tell.
Right.
I love it.
That's the energy I bring here on Tuesday mornings, I think. And even I have been to the point where, like, I kind of forgot how much I like just being part of community and connecting to people because we've just been traveling so much. But this was sort of the final big trip that we were going to take, in part because my son lives in Japan, my brother lives in Australia, and we were going to get together for sort of a family Christmas in Australia with my brother and his family. So me, my wife, and both my kids ended up in Melbourne and Sydney for a couple of weeks, and then we also visited the Gold Coast of Australia and Hawaii, where we'd never been to Hawaii before. I can't believe I'd never been to Hawaii before. And fantastic, great trip. It is summer there, which strikes me right now.
So that's the opposite of this cold, right?
Yeah. We left Hawaii at 85 degrees and sunny and landed here and it was -6. And you can't help but think you're just doing it wrong. So, it was a great trip. The highlight, I think, was New Year's Eve in Sydney. New Year's Eve in Sydney, I think, is probably even crazier than New Year's Eve in New York City.
Really?
With the ball drop and everything else that they have there. It is just, they have a fireworks display across the length of their harbor. So whereas in New York City, the craziness is sort of localized around Times Square. Times Square is not small. There's a lot of ins and entrances and exits from Times Square, but it's still sort of localized in one area of New York City. Sydney, the entire city that is around that enormous bay, is absolutely locked down and one enormous police presence throughout the city.
Really?
Because they've got to shut down. They've got to shut down public areas starting at like 11:30 a.m. because they're too full of people already.
Wow.
Like it's already too full you just get announcement after announcement after announcement on social media. This area is just shutting down. Nobody in or out anymore because we've got too many people here. So it was, and of course the actual fireworks display and celebration and such was nuts.
It's kind of surreal that your family's spread out all over the world, but you just find a way to meet in Australia for New Year's Eve.
Yeah. Well,
did you feel kind of like Muppets Take Manhattan when all of them kind of scatter across the country, but then they all get tracked down and reconvene and are back together again? Was that going through your mind at any point?
We were determined to get, the Muppets was exactly the
Thank you.
The analogy I was going to draw. we were pretty sure we were going to get a dog in like September, and then and that was going to be the last sort of trip that we had was to Rio and Sao Paulo to watch the Packers play the Eagles in Sao Paulo. But my son, who lives in Japan, who we don't get to see very often now, or probably won't be seeing very often, he texted us and said, "Hey, I'm going to Australia to visit your brother for Christmas. Any interest in a Christmas there?" And I've got one daughter. My daughter is getting married later this year. My son lives in Japan. Daughter's already at the point where like every other year we're kind of getting her for Christmas. Yeah. And so we said, let's have one last kind of big Christmas together, and where better to do it than with my brother and his family.
You're doing it right, Bonus.
It was great. It was a great time. It was great to spend. It was great to spend a couple 2 weeks with both kids, kind of walking around. That's not going to happen necessarily all that much either. So it was great.
Are you going to go to New Orleans if Philly goes to the Super Bowl?
We are not.
Oh, wow.
No. And
look at you change. Would you have gone if the Vikings went there?
No. In fact, I had this discussion, crazily enough, with friends. It's been a frequent bar topic this year during the Vikings run. If you were going to watch the Vikings in the Super Bowl game, where would you want to watch it? Would you want to watch it in the city and the stadium where it actually is? Or would you want to watch it in Minneapolis? And I will say, as somebody who watched my wife celebrate an Eagles Super Bowl victory in Minneapolis, where the Eagles won it.
Did she burn places down?
She did. Well, that was the problem.
Okay.
It's hard to find enough Eagles fans to really burn anything.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's hard to start.
Whereas if you're at Broad Street in Philadelphia, everything's game. No, but watching that, I did come to the conclusion that I think I would rather have celebrated a Vikings Super Bowl victory in Minneapolis than I would in New Orleans, even if it meant in the stadium in New Orleans going to the game.
Hogs, if you didn't have...
It's too hard to find people there.
The sweet gig that you have and you get to go to all the road games, if you didn't have that, where would you watch a Vikings Super Bowl? Would you go or would you watch it at home?
I'd watch it at home. For
Same.
Sure.
Yeah.
Same.
It's such a good point.
Either way, I'm probably going to cry.
Yep.
Whether they win or lose.
Right.
I do think the Vikings, out of all the core four, too, that would be the closest to, like, I know you guys saw the videos when Argentina won the World Cup and everybody was in the streets. I think that would be the closest we get to that in Minnesota. I legit think people would be out in the streets celebrating. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like, if the Wolves won, people would be happy. Twins, wild for sure, but the Vikings, that would be the most unanimous throughout the state.
People would be like, well, I can die now.
I ever told you guys my 1991 celebrating the World Series story?
No.
1987. I've been a Twins fan for years. Never, obviously watched 4 Vikings Super Bowl losses, blah, 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 right?
Okay.
And in 1987, the year, one of the biggest baseball / Twins fans I know, me, is in the Soviet Union starting in September. And so I missed the entirety, not only had to watch that from afar, but I had to watch that from afar in the most lockdown information society in the world.
I feel like you have told this story. Like, as soon as you started, I'm like, I'm pretty familiar with this, and I have zero memory of the rest of it. So please continue, because I'm almost positive listeners are going to be like, no, Bonus has told us this before. Right. Anybody remember this at all? We're falling apart. So, do you remember any of this?
I think so, because he told my dad this story a couple weeks ago, and my dad told me.
Is this where you ended up in Taipei and you don't remember it?
No, that's Corey's dad.
Yeah, is this when you went to Singapore with my dad? And
no, but there was.
Yeah. Okay, keep going then.
There was a tie, and well, no. All right. So. This is 87. 87, not only is there, not the internet, there's not email, there's not cell phones, there is mail and telephone. That's how you communicate right now. There's long distance phone calls, and there's written mail, snail mail. And Soviet Union, you can't just make a call to the Soviet Union. Like, you can't do that. And even from the Soviet Union, you can't really make a call to the U.S. So basically, if you were lucky enough to get through, one of the things that you had to do with our student group that was there is you had to ask about how the Twins were doing, how the Cardinals were doing, and how the Broncos were doing, because we had three big fan bases there. I was there with one other Twins fan. His name was also John. And we end up finding that the Twins won the World Series by calling the American embassy in Moscow.
Jeez.
From Tbilisi, I think. And getting put through to the
dragons.
Absolutely, she's a mother dragon.
And being put through to the Marine barracks, where they found somebody who knew that 3 days earlier the Twins had won the World Series.
Absolutely what they want to be focused on.
Yeah.
Is relaying sports information to two guys named John.
Oh, Marine barracks were Marines got
the Cold War is going on, but does anybody know the Twins score?
The scuttlebutt. You inspired my dad to call people and ask about the Twins scuttlebutt. What are you hearing?
That's right. And, we get the newspaper clippings about it 3 weeks later, because that's how long it takes to get mail through the Soviet Union and celebrate and so on. So John and I go through that, experience together of watching from afar our favorite team end up winning a championship for the first time in our lives. 1991 happens. And it's the Twins win it in Game 7. And I am living on lake in Chicago, basically, downtown, close to downtown Minneapolis. And Chrissy is with me, visiting from Philadelphia. And they win. And Chrissy looks at me and says, "Well, what do we do? We're just watching it alone in my apartment." And I'm like, "Well, we got to go downtown and celebrate. Like, I missed this 4 years ago."
And she's from Philly, so she lines up some Molotov cocktails.
She's got multiple lighters.
She's got her purse full of batteries. Yeah. And we go running downtown and we park. And downtown, just as you had predicted, Max, everybody's running around like idiots. It's awesome, right? People are gathered in the Metrodome. People are running around like morons there. And I am running around like an idiot, and I get clocked by another bigger guy.
Whoa. Also named John.
Who knocks me down, and I look up, and it's John.
No way.
Who I had not seen since that trip.
Kidding. Oh. He clocked you.
I had not seen since that trip. I had not been in contact at all since that trip, and I have never seen since.
Did you kick him in his penis?
And I look at him with eyes wide, and he looks at me with eyes wide. We get up, we dance around hugging each other for like 3 minutes.
That's a long time to dance and hug a man. Yeah. Oh, yeah. What did Chrissy think of that?
Yeah. It was great. She was oddly into it. I don't know.
Yeah, I can see
She's from Philly.
And
she had a lot of questions about your Moscow trip with John. You guys seem awfully close.
You haven't seen him since either?
I've never seen him since.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. I am convinced that 1991 was like a cosmic makeup just for me and for John.
Man. Can you get a makeup for some Viking stuff, please?
That's a good idea.
Please?
Yeah, can you go back to Russia and then come back?
Can you just get me some makeup in general? Feeling a little ugly today.
I could use some cosmic makeup.
Oh.
You know how much Aaron Gleeman would pay for a video of you dancing and hugging a man for 3 straight minutes?
I think he'd rather have the video of getting him punched.
Front Page Sports is next. Power Trip Morning Show on the Fan.
Power Trip Morning Show. Hey, John Hines, your team was much better last night.
I agree. I think there was some components in the game that against Nashville we didn't like, and we had a good meeting yesterday. And I thought tonight we played as a real strong 5-man unit. I really liked our offensive zone pressure. I thought we were much better. Obviously, the goals that we scored off the rush, we made better plays. We didn't just throw pucks to the net. We hit late guys coming in. I thought our forecheck and then our rush defense was really tight. We had our forwards came back hard, but our D had really good gaps. So that was more the style of game that we wanted to do. And tonight we executed it at a high level.
Thank you for your honesty.
Nice job.
All right, let's dive into that. Let's do what really matters. We'll start with Wild News, brought to you by our friends at Catalyst and CatalystSupplyCo.com. If you're a Twin Cities contractor, boost your build with Catalyst. Thanks, Catalyst.
Yeah, do that.
They did win 3-1 over the Avs. Marc-Andre Fleury, 26 saves. The Wild held Colorado to just 11 shots through 2 periods. That's pretty good defense. They put up a bunch of shots in the third, but too little, too late. No big deal. Up next, the Wild host Utah. Utah. Give me 2. On Thursday. That was for Tommy. Or Thomas.
No, he's Tommy, I think.
Yeah, I think he's probably back to Tommy. Anyway, Utah Hockey Club, Thursday. What really matters, though, is this.
If your body temperature falls to 85 degrees,
you're dead, right?
You're freezing to death.
Yeah, you're dead.
And you, in a strange, anguished paroxysm, rip off your clothes often.
Yeah.
The phenomenon is known as paradoxical undressing. And it's common enough that urban hypothermia victims are sometimes initially diagnosed as victims of sexual assault.
Huh. Like Dahmer's victims.
No. Normally you don't get your head cut off.
I wonder if today, if you just went streaking today, just because you're a perv.
Yeah, okay.
If you just ran down the street butt-ass naked.
Sure. People
and then
be like, look at that lady running down the street.
Right, because it's minus 19.
Yeah, that's right.
And then somebody pulls up on you and arrests you, and you say, you can't do this. You're nude in public. I'd say, I got that paradoxical, whatever you just said. That's what I would say.
Yeah, good point.
I wonder if that would fly
I'm freezing
in
to
court.
death. I'm losing my mind. I didn't take my clothes off on purpose.
Why would I do that? It's freezing.
Yeah. Hey, Hogs.
Why would I get nude at an Arby's?
Man, because the cheese sauce is warm.
Because you're living life. What's the other thing from Arby's you love, Hogs? The Jamocha Shake.
Those are good, sure.
Yeah.
Those are really good.
Those are good.
When you were a runner,
yes, sir.
Did you run in this kind of weather?
No.
Not like this,
No.
but like...
You can't run in minus 19.
The 20-degree weather, did you run in that?
Yeah, I mean, sure,
Yeah.
sure. I ain't no big dying. As long as it's not icy, it's cool.
Yes. The
Ain't no
ice is
dying.
what stops us in
That's
the winter.
the thing, yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. I will always be fascinated that you don't like curly fries.
I do not. I hate curly fries.
That just, I don't know why that bothers me so
Hate.
much.
They're horrible.
What?
They're the pubes of fries. They're gross.
Wow.
They're disgusting. It's 6:30 in the morning.
Didn't know you had such a strong take on pubes.
They're terrible.
Yeah, what's wrong with pube?
Sorry, curly fries are terrible.
Yeah, but you just said that the pubes.
Yeah, well, they are. They're curly and gross. Case closed.
You don't like the texture. You don't like the taste.
All of
I
it.
mean,
All of
really?
it. I just don't like them. The
I'm actually
seasoning
with you
them-
on this.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Really?
Curly fries are
I'm not
overrated.
a curly fry guy.
No.
Avoid
Potato
the curly fries.
cakes, amazing. Hash browns, awesome. Loaded hash browns, A+.
Lebanese hash.
Oh, God, do you have any?
Yeah, oh yeah, I got some in my back. I got some at home.
Yeah.
At home.
Somewhere.
Augusto, sweetheart, save some room for later.
Ohio State is your national champion. They beat Notre Dame 34-23 for the first time in about a decade. They are national champs. That is their 7th national title. Will Howard, 17 of 21 for 231 and a couple of touchdowns.
Man, that was... I thought Notre Dame had something when they kind of made that comeback, and then they got those two-point conversions. I'm like, all right, here we go.
How about even more so at the beginning of the game? Almost a 10-minute drive and a touchdown to start the game. It's like they're up 7-rip, and they almost wasted the entire first quarter. It's like, wow, Notre Dame's going to fight. And then, I think Ohio State put up 31 consecutive points
you're
after
right,
that.
yeah.
So, sure, Notre Dame got back in the game a little bit late, but between the end of the first and essentially midway through the fourth, it was all Ohio State.
And what makes football so great is one little thing can change the entire bit. If Notre Dame somehow can force a 3-and-out after that 11-minute drive, they win the game. Because then that defense has to come back out on the field after being out there for, 20 minutes, 25 minutes. But they couldn't. Ohio State is super good.
Well, it was also, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, and they throw a pass 30, 40 yards downfield and complete it. That's how Notre Dame did not force that 3-and-out. It would have been much more interesting had they not completed that.
Just a handful of weeks ago, Ohio State lost to Michigan.
Yeah.
And then I remember I brought it up on the show the following Monday or whatever, that I heard on this station, it was a national radio show, but they were talking about Ryan Day and Ohio State losing to Michigan and how he keeps losing to Michigan. And even though it's preposterous, they actually asked seriously, would a national title save Ryan Day's job?
Right.
And I'm like, that's how high of standards they have at Ohio State, and that's how much they hate losing to Michigan is if he wins the national title, would they still maybe fire him because they're sick of losing to Michigan? Now that they won the national title a month and change later, no one is talking about Ryan Day getting fired. But a month ago, somebody said that on this station. Think about that.
Yes, it was Chad Abbott.
Really?
God, he is so unwilling to pay people to fill in. He's doing Saturday afternoon shows.
Wow. It's unbelievable. Yeah.
I'll do it.
What's that show called?
Talking about to do it myself.
It was Saturdays with Sauce into Abbott's in the afternoon.
Yeah.
He loves alliteration.
Yeah.
He loves it.
He talks a lot of fishing and whores.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fishing for whores or
Yes.
two different subjects?
Oh, my God. Come on, man. Take your vitamins.
I think it's fishing with whores. I think that's what he prefers.
Sweet, yeah.
Hawk would watch.
Yeah, he goes fishing with my family.
Fan Outdoors XXX.
Yeah, but like not in a sexual way. It's more just like he believes they deserve to learn how to fish properly.
Right. Listen, I was afraid he was using them as bait. Right. You know? Teach a whore to fish and bathe.
Right.
Because you need to know the difference.
Yeah. Like they need to know how to hold on to a rod.
Amen, brother.
I know Rod.
You know how to hold on to rod.
Yeah.
Couldn't hold on to rod right now. It's too cold outside.
Mine's not much to hold on to.
Yeah, that's the point.
Now, and a lot of those gals, by the end of the day, can bait a hook, right? They're relatively good baiters. But when it comes to Abbott...
They're not masters, is what you're saying.
Abbott is. He is a...
Go ahead. Say it. Come on, you do it. You got it.
Chad Abbott?
Yeah. He's way better than them at baiting.
He is. Yeah. He's a master...
Yosman.
Baiter.
What really matters is this.
Hold on. I got to finish my text.
Zach's supposed to is offered to get us food.
And he said that Chick-fil-A's closed, and I'm driving there in a minute to burn the place down. Ladies and gentlemen, in December of 1980, Gene Hilliard was driving down a road in Minnesota. I'm going to guess 169. Doesn't say where.
Great road.
Her car went into a ditch. It was very cold that night. Temperatures well below zero. She abandoned her vehicle to seek help nearby house. By the way, they say not to do that.
Do not do that.
Freezing! Yeah, she walked by a guy who was homeless, who just got arrested, and he sang Pearl Jam for her.
Oh, good for that
He had recently started at Channel 4.
Yeah.
1980, yeah, he'd been there a while. Unfortunately, she got to a house, nobody was home. She'd almost reached a third house 2 miles away from where she left her car, where she collapsed 15 feet from the door.
Come on.
Homeowner Wally Nelson, the most Minnesota name in the history of Minnesota.
Wally Nelson. Sold some beer at the Metrodome for a long time.
Yeah.
Homeowner Wally Nelson found Jean's body the next morning. Now, this, I swear to God, there's a good ending to this. Doesn't sound like there's possible that this is a good ending. There is. Homeowner Wally Nelson found Jean's body the next morning. She was frozen and covered in ice. Wally thought she was dead. Her face was ghost white, and her body was stiff as a popsicle. Wally soon realized she was alive because he could hear her moaning. He picked her up and carried her to the back seat of his car. He couldn't get her in the front seat because her body was frozen stiff. He had to lay her in the back seat of the car.
My God.
He drove her to the hospital. Dr. George Sather observed that even Jean's eyeballs were frozen shut. So were her feet inside her boots. He couldn't determine her temperature because it was too low for the thermometer actually to register a temperature.
Oh, my God.
Dr. Sather thought she was dead, but again, he heard her moan.
Sauce, I'll explain to you later what that sounds like.
Please do a graphic impression.
He wrapped her body in an electric heating pad, connected her to oxygen, and she made a full recovery.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Without losing toes or eyes
no
or
frostbite.
fingers.
Wow.
Yep, there's a picture of her right here. I'm looking at a picture of her. Jean Hilliard, Hilliard, if you want to look up the information.
Paul, your hands up.
Woodhawk.
Let me tell you something. I've been with colder ladies.
Yeah.
What is he only knew they were alive because they moaned a little.
Bodie.
Nice play.
Say this gal. How do you spell this gal's name? What's her name? What's her first name though?
Jean. Jean.
She's an actress.
Oh, that's
God.
where I know her.
That's a
Yeah,
hard job
she
acting.
sounded familiar.
Yeah.
That story gives me hope. In case anyone finds me in my apartment.
Maxo, I got a whole basement you can stay in. You can play my season of MLB The Show. You don't have to change any diapers or Louis' diapers. You can change mine if you want.
Is he allowed to get Louis high?
Is he allowed to put a diaper on your wife?
That's odd.
Is he allowed to make her?
Please don't.
Hey,
oh my God, I'm sorry. Max, did you just kink shame? I'm sorry, Max. My God.
You know, I'd rather be cold than be in a diaperless household, in a kink-shaming household
There's plenty of
like the
diapers in my
Lamberts.
house.
Thought we were friends.
But I need somebody to play my MLB The Show. My team's stacked. All 99s,
Oh,
right,
of course.
Maxo?
Yeah, that's the only way to play.
Yeah, duh.
I have no heat in my apartment.
And his toilet's
my whole
unflushed.
my whole building hasn't
that's
had
Hawk's
heat
dad's dream.
in months. Yeah.
He calls that human stew.
If you don't have heat today, you can stay with me till you get heat back, dude.
No, I appreciate it.
No, I'm serious. Yeah, I got a extra bedroom and it smells like seafood in there.
But then you get there, Hawk just has a twin bed that you're going to share.
If it smells like seafood, it'll feel like home. Under the sea.
My toilet's flush, but I don't like to flush them.
No, true Hawk. Human soup. Oh, yeah.
Man, are you a kink shaming son of a bitch?
By the way, Zach, if you're listening, the title of the podcast is Human Soup. The front runner. More of What Really Matters after this.
And
John Bonus is here.
Scory?
Yes.
I have more incredible stories of people being brought back to life after being frozen to death for all the people trapped in their car right now.
Or stuck at Max's apartment.
That live near Loring Park.
It's unbelievable, these stories.
But again, stay in your car. Don't wander.
Do not wander. Oh my God, look at this guy. Look at that guy's face. Oh my God. Oh, golly ma.
Woodhawk?
No.
Well, she's a guy, so.
It's a dude. Either way, no.
She's an actress.
Yeah.
Oh!
More of What Really Matters after this. Power to your morning show on the Fan.
Triple B's over there. Johnny Bones is over there. Corey Cove is over there talking about taking trips to Taiwan. Family trips.
Hawk called me a big boobed bastard.
Again, everybody here loves alliteration, so what's wrong with that?
I don't know.
No, nothing.
I think it's a catchy thing. I think you should embrace it.
I don't mind. Call me.
I'll embrace your big boobs.
Yeah, the whole town knows.
The whole town?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get to more of these stories. I'll do scores and stats. You tell us more about frozen people.
All right. Frozen caveman lawyer.
Sunday, we have the NFC and AFC title games. The NFC goes first at 2 o'clock. Washington and Jaden Daniels takes on Philadelphia and Jalen Hurts.
Philly wins.
Let's hope not.
I know, but it's going to happen. They can't stop Saquon.
I'll take Washington in the points.
How many is it?
Yeah, how many points is it?
Sauce, yesterday you said 5.5, but let me check the
5.5.
Let me check the old updated DraftKings line.
That's a lot for a playoff game.
It might be less.
DraftKings says 6. Eagles by 6.
Can't do it. Can't do 6.
All
If you
right.
give me even up, I'll do it.
No.
Okay, whatever then.
How about 5?
Stop being a quitter.
Whoa.
I said
Would
quitter.
you take 2.5?
I would not.
Don't stop doing the other thing.
I did think you said the other thing. And I was like, wow, you weren't joking about what you said during the commercial break.
I think that's what caused, though.
Yeah, don't do that.
But what really matters is this.
This is the craziest story of all time. I can't believe there's not been a movie about this. In February of 2007, Johnny Bones, 35-year-old paraglider, Yuwa Wisniewska, became frozen in the air as she was paragliding over Manila, New South Wales, Australia. Yuwa was preparing for the World Paragliding Championships.
She didn't do very well.
When a storm sucked her into the clouds.
Holy moly.
She was continuously hit by rainfall and orange-sized hailstones.
Jeez.
And the storm kept taking her upwards. She went from 760 meters, 2,500 feet, to 32,000 feet.
Wait a minute.
What? You heard what I said. In 15 minutes.
How is that possible?
Oh, you just wait.
I don't even know, but that...
Yeah. Just wait. So
I don't understand the physics of
I
that.
can't believe we never thought of it, but think about it.
Somebody would have to explain to me how it just keeps bringing you up.
Think about what
against your will.
What wind shear does to a plane.
Yeah,
Imagine
I
you're
guess.
paragliding.
Yeah. So she basically became a balloon.
Right?
Yes.
Yes.
Well said.
I just didn't know you could do that with that kind of...
that kind of height, that kind of... Yeah, right.
Man.
You were passed out. Temperatures, I know.
Yeah,
I
I
would
did.
think so.
Yeah, thanks, Italian nurse.
Yeah.
You were passed out.
What happened to me? You passed out about 12,000 feet.
Brilliant.
Temperatures plummeted to minus 58 degrees.
Ugh.
Minus 58?
I mean, that's how high or cold it is up there.
This person should not have survived. Is that obvious enough?
She regained consciousness about an hour later. Could not control the paraglider because her hands and gloves were frozen. She was still flying at 22,600 feet when she woke up.
How is the paraglider not completely covered in ice and also basically damaged with this orange-sized hail?
I'm not done yet.
Dear God.
She was soon sucked into more clouds, back upwards again. The storm finally discharged her about 40 miles from where she took off.
Jeez.
She was covered in ice when she landed. She suffered no permanent injuries except for serious frostbite to her ears. She spent an hour in the hospital and was discharged.
My God.
Another paraglider was sucked into the same storm. 42-year-old He Zongping. He was not so lucky. His body was recovered almost 50 miles from the takeoff point.
Lordy.
Holy moly.
Have you ever, if you think about the physics of it, I guess, I can see how it would happen. But
Remind me to never go paragliding.
Right.
That's insane.
I don't think that I was going to, but...
I told you.
Wow.
So you think you're cold.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever paraglided?
No.
Are you out of your mind?
I'm too heavy.
I did too.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
You're not in control, though.
Yeah, but it's fun.
You were by yourself in that thing?
No, there was a pilot guy.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
It was a tandem thing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Takes two.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, it was very... Initially, it was terrifying, but as soon as the ascent is terrifying, but when you're up there, it is very, very peaceful.
Well, always get ascent.
So how did you quote unquote ascend? Because we were in the Alps, and basically we were at a top of a very kind of a top of a mountain sort of thing, and basically like they put you at the top of a very, very steep hill and say, "Run."
What? No.
Yeah, ours had a little
running down the hill, and then the parachute just fills up, and you start now gliding down the mountain.
Ours had a little like fan thing that helped us like
the station
ascend. Yeah, we were listening to the free iHeartRadio app, new and improved, down in Peru, and yeah, we had a little like fan thing in the back that like a propeller that helped us ascend. Yeah, and then there's nothing to hold on to. All I had was a GoPro. They have you hold on to a GoPro the whole time.
Were you on a hill?
Film the whole thing. Yeah, we were on a hill. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
It is awesome. It was the coolest guy ever. That was my pilot. Like, he didn't say a word to me at all. He just had a toothpick in his mouth, and they're like, "Hey, next one up." And then he just threw the toothpick out, zipped up his thing. Right. And I'm not joking.
Ryan Gosling from
Drive. Yeah, basically. I was terrified the whole ride there. And then when he threw that toothpick out, I'm like, I'm so safe,
if
dog.
I'm going to die.
I'm so safe, dog. I would trust this guy with my life.
And if you're going to die, you'll die the coolest way ever.
Yeah, for sure. Like, he'll hand me a cigarette as we're going down, and we'll both just...
His name was Bruce Neeson.
Lee. Schwarzenegger.
Mr. Bruce Neeson Stallone.
The AFC title game is after Washington and Philly on Sunday.
Don't you wish one was Saturday and one was Sunday?
Yeah, that'd be great.
I always have.
I'm sorry.
Especially because they got 2 weeks.
Well, yeah, correct.
That's yeah, maybe.
Saturday night
and Sunday night would be awesome.
That would be awesome. There's nothing else on.
No, I love football, obviously, but I don't want to sit and watch TV all day.
And the team with the best record got to choose when they play.
All right, cool down, buddy.
Had too much coffee.
I don't know what happened there.
It's okay, Danny.
I got all pissed off. I apologize.
The team with the best record got to choose?
Yeah.
Is that true? Or are you just
No, he's
that up?
wishing.
I'm wishing.
He's wishing. That the team
How do
with
I
the best
know?
record gets
Oh, I
to
thought you just were doing a Kansas City gets all the rigged stuff for him.
No.
I thought you meant this year KC picked the second game. I'm like, what are you talking about?
No.
You're saying
it switches every
You're
year.
saying
Yeah.
if we switched it to one game Saturday night, one game Sunday night, the best record gets to pick which night they want.
Hey, Sauce.
Yes.
What would happen if the Chiefs played the Cowboys in the Super Bowl? Who would ESPN talk about?
The Cowboys.
That is the right answer, by the way.
It'd be close. What would the referees do?
I mean, it'd be. They talk about the Cowboys, and the Cowboys haven't, played in 3 weeks. That's all they talk about is the Cowboys.
Did they get a coach?
I don't know.
What noise was that?
It was Tim Allen from Home Improvement. Hey, that is Arthur Fonzarelli.
Okay, you got time for another story?
Sure. Gopher women are kicking ass this year. The basketball team. They're 17-2. Yep, they're 17-2. They are the 23rd ranked team in the country. They host number 24 Michigan. That is tomorrow at 7:00.
Aren't they missing a couple of their best players too, or have a couple of players hurt?
Did anybody call the authorities?
They might be on a paraglider.
Sauce, is that true?
Is that true?
You weren't listening. He was not
I heard
listening.
something about the Gopher women's basketball team.
What are you reading about right now?
Hockey said.
What are you reading about?
I was looking at top 25 free agents for next.
Okay. All right.
You were texting somebody.
No, I was not.
No.
Anyway, you said the Gopher women's basketball team is doing great.
It's okay.
Hawk said it's because of Guardsy. That's when I changed channels.
Jesus.
So then you checked out because then John and I had a 10-second conversation and I said, ask Sauce. And then Chris did, and you clearly weren't listening.
You know what? I deserve that.
What really matters, though, is this.
You're right. You're right about that. Listen. May 10th, 1996. 49-year-old, strangely, ironically named Beck Weathers froze and almost died during a failed attempt to climb Mount Everest. Beck had undergone a radial keratotomy surgery to correct his nearsightedness before he traveled to the Himalayas. Now, the surgery essentially entailed the creation of a small incision in each of his corneas. That became a problem when the shape of his corneas changed as he climbed into higher altitudes. Impaired his vision. Mountain guide Rob Hall discouraged Beck from climbing any further and advised him to wait here until he returned from the summit. But Hall froze to death the next day. The guide did. So Beck's down there waiting on him, and he can't see blank. Weathers descended the mountain with some other climbers who saw him, said, hey, old dude from the cartoon who can't see.
Mr. Magoo.
Thank you.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Come on with us. But a severe snowstorm left them all disoriented.
Oh, no.
Weathers lost his right glove. His hand froze solid. He suffered from both hypothermia and hypoxia. And if that wasn't enough, the winds blew so hard, it swept him away from the group.
Jeez.
My God.
See ya.
That's what he said.
He saw the singer who won't show her face.
Brilliant. That's very good, Hogs.
That's last funny. Thought.
Great song.
God, great song. Some climbers found Weathers buried in the snow the next morning.
Oh.
His arm was frozen. His face was covered in ice. He was hypothermic and in a coma, which usually is the last stage a frozen person reaches before dying. No human had ever recovered from a hypothermic coma at the time. But guess what? Weathers' climbing partners thought he was dead, so they abandoned him.
Oh, my God.
But
Jeez.
a mountain guide and a doctor found him.
And he was moaning.
They visited him for the next 24 hours.
I cried tonight.
Waited on him to die, but he didn't die. Instead, they brought him down the mountain. Weathers awoke from the coma, survived. Parts of his face, his foot, and his arms were amputated. But he lived. 8 other climbers died in the snowstorm. But that Mr. Magoo S of a B lived. Now, looking at the picture of his face, I'm not sure he was glad that he did. Because look at
like
this
Swiss
guy.
cheese.
Oh, that's bad.
That
good.
looks ridiculous.
Again, his name is
painful.
Beck Weathers, just like you'd expect. Weathers, if you want to take a look at it when you get to work.
He is.
If you're cold this morning, remember Beck Weathers.
Yeah.
He's recovered pretty nicely. He's the lead in that series Fallout.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
So now he's acting.
The Oscar for best makeup goes to, well, never mind.
My God.
And he's been trying to climb Mount Everest for the last 30 years with Eric Weihenmayer.
But
he's gay. I mean, he's blind.
What? That was a weird Freudian slip. Why did you say he was gay?
That's what the bit is.
What bit?
The lady says it on the news. You're not fooling me.
And that dude went through like every Final Destination peril
I know.
lived through all of them.
Well said.
Why there's not been a movie about, and maybe there has, about that guy.
Right.
How about that guy wakes up from the coma, right?
Right.
And they're like, dude, what happened? You know, when he starts retelling his story, and he just goes, I was waiting for Rob. Where is Rob? Oh, Rob died. Good. Son of a bitch. Right, like, that guy told me to just stay here. He deserves to be dead. Rob's deader than hell.
Yeah.
It's like $60,000 to climb Mount Everest.
We know somebody who did. The person who fixed his filthy mouth over there.
True. I mean, you'd have to pay me $6 million, I think, to try it.
Mouth.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You'd have to pay for all of my training because you got to get in pretty good shape, I think.
Hi, pretty girl.
And then you'd have to give me $6 million to even try it.
Oh, you're talking about?
Actually, I don't even know if I would for that. I don't think I could make it. So I'm going to die. Why would I want $6 million if I'm dead?
No, you'd survive. The Lord loves you.
Hold on.
The Lord's music is great.
Hockey's throwing money at Marty.
Marty's dancing.
He's an optimist.
I'm shocked he didn't just leave it there.
You wouldn't climb Mount Everest, y'all?
No. I don't think so.
No.
You walk by too many dead people.
There's a lot of things I'd like to do, but flying and climbing.
How about Kilimanjaro?
I would love to climb
I
both.
don't want to kill a man. Well, maybe I'll kill a man.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think my mountain climbing days are done.
Yeah. I don't know, man. After talking to Michelle, Dr. Michelle, who fixed your filthy mouth.
Yeah. Wonderful person. Changed
great
my
person.
life.
She's wonderful.
She changed my life.
She got up there, and I can't remember the story exactly. She told it on the air, Corey, you might remember. But she was in her tent, and she had the issues with the carbon. What is it that you breathe out?
Dioxide?
Yeah, carbon dioxide. And it apparently can drive you kind of crazy. Like if you're breathing too much of it, not getting enough oxygen.
Start to hallucinate or something,
she
or
just
what?
decided she was going to go ahead and die. She was going to stay in her tent. They had to talk her out of staying in the tent. They had to get her out of there. Jeez. And I'm probably telling the story incorrectly, but it does some crazy things to your brain.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I got no interest in that.
It does seem like there's no perfect trip. Like everybody that has climbed it always says there's always one moment where they're like, yeah, we all almost died, but we made it. Yeah.
But there's also always that one part of the story where they're like, and I was laying there and I couldn't breathe and everybody around me was frozen to death. and then a Sherpa walked by in a T-shirt and shorts.
Right. It's true. Or a dog walked by and guided me to the top.
Yeah, one guy with a toothpick was hang gliding.
It was 5 minutes in.
Yeah. All right. Marty Gellner is here. John Bonus is here. This is the Power Trip Morning Show. We'll do the news after this on The Fan.